What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Nerd Media. And over the years of Mission Impossible, we have gotten so many insane stunts that Tom Cruise has been able to pull off. And all of them have been done solely by him. And it really is some of the best things we've gotten from action movies in general. So in this video, I want to go through all of the stunts that I can recall throughout the Mission Impossible franchise and rank them from least favorite to best and just how insane they really can get. Because I found 9 of them that are really big and impactful for this franchise, and we're going to be ranking all of them in this video. And I also want to hear your thoughts about what your ranking may be for all the stunts, because there's a lot of really great ones, and it's really hard to rank them because every single one of them is super stressful. But if you're new to the channel, I'm Nerd Media. I talk about movies, TV shows, and comic books all the time on the channel. And today we're talking about Mission Impossible, but we also got a huge summer ahead of us with Karate Kid Legends, Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World, so many great things. So with all that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe, sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and let's dive right into it. So coming in kind of as like an honorable mention slash stunt in a way is number 9. I'm going to give it to all of the motorcycle chases that we get in Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible 2, Mission Impossible 3. You know, we get a lot of those, and all of them are practical, and they're not just like CGI or however else they make motorcycle scenes now with movies, and they're all very practical and stuff, and you just got to appreciate every single thing that was done practically by the actors, and this is one of them. And it's not the craziest thing that he's done, although there are some crazy moves that he pulls with these motorcycles. It is definitely awesome, but there are just some way cooler ones up at the top. Number 8, I want to give it to him jumping the cliff in Mission Impossible 2. I do like when these movies start out with some crazy big stunt, which we get in this film and in Rogue Nation. It really is just such a very stressful moment because you know Tom Cruise is able to do that, but it's just so stressful because I don't think anybody watching this movie could have pulled something like that off, and it's very crazy. It was very quick, but it was very cool. Bringing us to number 7, which is yet another stunt that just happens right at the start of the movie in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, where we see Tom Cruise hanging onto the side of the cargo plane for probably a good 5 minutes. I think that this opening is one of the best openings of any of the Mission Impossible films. Although this is not my favorite Mission Impossible film, I still think that's very fun and enjoyable, and this was the start of like the really consistently good era of those films. I do think that this was just insane to pull off, and it was so entertaining, and I think it's one of the most entertaining ones that isn't too stressful, but it's also just really stressful to watch. I think it's one of the best ones to just watch and just be entertained by. Number 6, I'm going to give it to the Halo jump from Fallout, when we see John Lark and Ethan Hunt jump out of the plane and just go down into the building. It's such a visually awesome thing to witness, and the way that the aspect ratio changes before heading into this scene always gets me super excited, and I love how the aspect ratio change is utilized in unique ways in the Mission Impossible films, because here we see it change as the door is opening, which I think is just so cool. And this whole scene was insane because I know although there wasn't actual lightning during the scene, it was just so cool to know that this is actually happening. And even though Henry Cavill didn't actually jump and it was a stunt double, it's still so cool to see Tom Cruise have to change the oxygen on there before he even hits the ground and then somehow have a safe landing. It's always so cool. This is why this is my favorite Mission Impossible and one of my favorite action films. Seriously, is just that great. Number 5, I'm actually surprised that I'm having it this low, but I'm going to give it to the Dead Reckoning motorcycle jump. This was one of the coolest things that I've seen from the Mission Impossible films. It has one of the best build-ups in terms of like what we're about to witness, and it really does feel like a build-up because they know that we're there for a crazy stunt, and then they give it to us, but they also have a really just awesome, hilarious, and cool build-up to what we're about to witness. And seeing the behind the scenes of this one really just makes me stressed because although he didn't go off of an actual cliff, it was a giant ramp, and it just looks so cool when you see the behind the scenes. Go look up the behind the scenes of this because it's so awesome, and it's one of the coolest ones that he's done, and I just get so like, it just feels so cool witnessing that, and it's just really awesome. And the only word I can really use to describe any of these stunts is that it's just so cool and entertaining. Some of you may be surprised that this one is this high, but number 4, I'm going to give it to the Mission Impossible 1 stunt in the vault. it is probably the most stressful one that we have gotten, and it's definitely the most intense. I don't know about stressful because the top 3 is pretty stressful, but it's definitely the most intense and nerve-wracking that we have gotten from any of these stunts, which is crazy to say with this being this high. It's in the first film, so that just shows how crazy of a stunt this was, and it seriously was just a kickoff to a crazy run. God damn it. And it seriously was just a crazy kickoff to a bunch of crazy stunts that we were about to get. And this truly was insane to witness. I mean, it lasts like a good 6 minutes, and it is just insane. Like, I love this. It's so stressful. There are so many moments where they could almost get caught, and it really kind of fuels that spy thriller vibe you get from the very first film. To the most intense ones of the series here, I gotta give it to Ghost Protocol when he climbs the world's second tallest building, I believe. He really just takes the sequence of climbing up a building to the max when, you know, you see the gloves are starting to lose the power and everything, and then he has to kind of shimmy his way up by using his feet and hands. It's really intense, really crazy, and when he runs down the building and has to jump through the window and then he misses it, it's not only just super fun and entertaining, but it is genuinely crazy because you're just thinking to yourself, this is actually happening. This is not like CGI or visual effects or anything. That is actually happening. And it really adds to that magic of witnessing a stunt that Tom Cruise can do in a Mission Impossible film, as if it isn't unique and special enough when it happens. And it is one of the best ones. It's one of the craziest ones. And it is insane that he is able to do all this stuff, because this film was only made like a few years ago, and it's just crazy that even now he's still able to pull off some of the craziest stunts that we have seen like in an action movie before. Top 2 I don't think is recency bias, but it's going to be the 2 from Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Kicking off number 2 with the submarine sequence. This is like a 25-minute sequence, and it has some of the best visual representation of a message and theme in this sequence. And it's not only just insane to witness because, you know, I don't like the water, so it's definitely a more stressful experience to watch, and I know that's probably stressful for a lot of people as well. The submarine starts moving, and then he has to cut open the suit. It's just really intense and really just, oh my god, how is he going to get out of this kind of thing, which is not really something you can really feel for most of these stunts because it's Tom Cruise and you know he can pull it off. But when you're that deep underwater, he has to rip open the swimsuit. It really just makes you stressed and really makes you consider what is going to happen. And we get the best visuals of any kind of anything from this franchise in this sequence. And that alone makes it number 2 for me, because it just has some of the best. Like when we see Ethan in like a hurdle, like crunch position, just floating up to the top, and you see the ice in the reflection. It's really just, that's probably the best visual image that we've gotten from the entire franchise alone. Number 1, I have to give it to by far the most stressful thing that I have seen in the big screen in quite a while. When Tom Cruise is on the plane, just holding on to it, being held on by one cable, it's just really intense. And this sequence, you know, you've heard so many people say these exact words. They don't show you anything of it in the trailers. It really is just so much longer than what you really expect it to be, and it is so intense throughout the whole entire time. Like seeing the ratio change in IMAX and just seeing this sequence in IMAX is really kind of like a really great experience, and I feel like nobody would really kind of counter that, because it really is just that good of an experience. But this sequence is not only the most stressful of the entire Mission Impossible franchise, it is the craziest one, and it is insane because this is the most recent one that we have gotten. And Tom Cruise is also in his 60s still able to do this stuff. It's really just insane, and this is why we have to respect what he does for movies, and it's just really insane. And I really, really do think that this is not only the craziest stunt, not only the most stressful stunt, but it is also one of the coolest stunts of like any action film in general for me personally. I think that the fact that he was able to pull something off like that, really insane, and I just really really cannot stop thinking about that one sequence. Like, if you are going to go see this in theaters, try your best to see it in IMAX, especially for this sequence here. But yeah, Tom Cruise has done some crazy stuff over the years, and I would love to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts down below in the comments and what your ranking is for all the crazy stunts that he's done. I know that I'm sure I left a few of them out, but honestly, there's just too many to count at this point. I was able to figure out 9 of them. I don't know if there was any crazy ones in Mission Impossible 3. I believe I may have missed one from Fallout, but honestly, I just am just so blown away by how we're able to still get this stuff and live in a time where we get to see Tom Cruise be Ethan Hunt. So with all that being said, if you stuck around the channel this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And clearly I said something you liked or you were just entertained, so click the subscribe button, like the video, comment down below your ranking, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.